I'm running for mayor of the city of Chicago because Chicago needs to go in a different direction. For the past 4 years, we've seen Mayor Emanuel arrive in town with a boatload of money, impose his policies on the people of the city of Chicago. They've favored a select few in Chicago. Through the amassing of large sums of money, he thought he could get reelected while leaving behind Chicago neighborhoods, making Chicago a city that leads the nation in the number of school closings, almost 50, and making Chicago at the same time one of the most violent cities in the country. We've experienced in the past 4 years 10,000 shootings, for example. So people in the neighborhoods feel left behind. They have come together, supported me for mayor. We forced them into a runoff by building a coalition that is truly multiracial, multi-ethnic, across faith and across geography in Chicago. We're fighting back against the agenda that was imposed on Chicago, and we want some attention and resources and investment in Chicago neighborhoods.
Well, Chuy Garcia, one of the big issues, obviously, in this race has been education. The mayor's policies on school closings, on charter schools, and his reform agenda. Could you talk about your differences with him on this issue and your own history in terms of seeking education reform?
Yes. The mayor has total control of the Chicago public school system. It was a bill that gave the mayor that exclusive control in 1995. I was a member of the Illinois Senate. I voted against that bill, thought it was a bad idea. It also ushered in the era of charter schools, and Chicago now has 125 charter schools. The mayor appoints people who have been loyal to him. Some of them have had conflicts of interest while serving on the school board. Their companies have profited. The business that they do, that the companies that some of those board members have, has grown tremendously over the past several years. It's indicative of the mayor's opposition to having an elected school board in Chicago. That question about an elected school board appeared on the ballot a week ago last Tuesday, and it received 88% of the vote in support. People want greater accountability. They want a say-so, and they want an elected school board. What we've seen in Chicago is a policy of inequality, a lack of equity. You have some parts of the city that have really good public schools, other parts of the city that don't have the resources that you need to have successful education occurring. Those schools happen to be located in some of the poorest neighborhoods in Chicago. And of course, the schools that were closed in Chicago are primarily in low-income areas that are predominantly African American and Latino. There's another issue in the school system, which is standardized tests. Teachers focus so much time and energy in teaching students how to pass tests that they're not able to educate them. So our students are over-tested and undereducated, and those are some of the issues that are being debated with respect to schools in Chicago, in addition to, of course, the issue of how you invest in having a robust system of public schools, and of course stopping the charter mania, the rush to open up as many charter schools as possible without demonstrating that in fact charter schools are superior to the neighborhood schools in Chicago, which means a siphoning of money. I recognize that there are some good charter schools in Chicago, but the charter mania, the rush to create additional charter schools, has just created a second tier of schools in our system. I will put an end to that. We will, of course, guarantee that all students, including those attending current charters, receive a good education, but we should not continue to just open charters and create a two-tier school system in the city of Chicago.
I wanted to ask you again about your own history in this area. Back in when you were leading a major a major community organization in Chicago, you led a protest and hunger strike by parents to build a public school. And my understanding is somebody by the name of Arnie Duncan was the one who eventually caved in and agreed to build the high school that you were seeking.
Yes, we had to engage in a fight in 2001 in an area known as Little Village in the city of Chicago. The Chicago public school system had promised to build the new high school by 2001, the year that it should have opened. No high school had been built yet. Parents and other leaders in the community decided they had to do something really unconventional. They engaged in a hunger strike that lasted 19 years. 19 days. It was a group of mothers, it was a group of students, other leaders in the community, and it really forced the Chicago Public Schools and the mayor to come to the table to sit down and negotiate. It resulted in part in the exiting of the CEO of the public school system at that time. There was a change in leadership after Arnie Duncan came in as superintendent of the school system. We sat down, we negotiated in a new high school, very innovative high school with 4 small schools in one shared facility that educates children who are Latino, many of them immigrants, and African American, about 30% of them. It is a very successful school. It's a very peaceful school, and it is graduating students and sending them to colleges and universities in unprecedented numbers, thereby showing that you can have great schools in low-income neighborhoods, in working-class neighborhoods in Chicago, and if we're able to do it there, it means that you're able to do it in other parts of the city, thus underscoring the fight for public education. If we have the resources to have good schools, we can have great schools everywhere in the city of Chicago, and educational equity.